for self-doubt. Perhaps the most common of all limiting beliefs is the idea that you can't reach a certain level of success. On a scale of 1 to 10, you may think you can make it to a 7, but not a 10. If someone else has reached a 10, then why can't you? Really think about it. Why can't you? Once the seed of a limiting belief is planted in your mind, it's generally fertilized with negative self-talk. When the internal dialogue really gets going, you say things like, I can't do anything right, or I could never do that, or I just can't make good decisions. These statements are all false, yet you allow yourself to think they are true. Many of these self-limiting statements are simply excuses for something someone would rather not do or is fearful of doing. For instance, someone says, I could never stand in front of people and give a presentation. Unless they literally can't speak, they are deceiving themselves by saying they can't do it. The more you make these types of false statements, the more you will believe them. Soon you'll experience a downward spiral of negativity. To get beyond the barriers of self-limiting beliefs, ask yourself this question. If I were paid $1 million to figure out a way to do a task, could I do it? If your answer is yes, then with focus and hard work, you are capable of eliminating your negative beliefs. In your quest to achieve your goals, be confident in who you are and in your abilities. Don't allow self-defeating thoughts to limit your opportunities or prevent you from searching for solutions. Reach for the stars. Give it all you got and don't look back. You know, I look at this chapter, Tracy, and I think about so many different things, but something very recently with me is I broke my wrist about 3 months ago. And I fell, and I broke it really bad, just broke both the bones off and had to have surgery, and it's still giving me so much pain. But I started being so nervous of everything I was doing because I kept thinking I'm going to fall. And as a result of that, every time I turned around, I was falling. And, I mean, I literally would just one night just fell in my foyer, tripped over my chair. I fell doing something. I almost fell out of the hot tub again a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I'm thinking I'm going to fall, so I am falling. And every time I go up and down my stairs, I'm like, oh, my gosh, am I going to fall? Am I going to fall? I've never thought about falling. Like, I'm not 100 years old. But I just, because I was thinking, Cindy, you're going to fall. You're going to fall. I was falling. And so it was just, I'm really starting to just think, okay, you can't think like that, Cindy. You can't think you're not going to fall. You're not, yes, you got to be careful. You don't want to do anything to hurt yourself, but you've never been an uncoordinated, clumsy person. So stop thinking you're going to fall every time you do something. So anyway, I'll give it to you because I'm sure you got some of these things in your head, too, that are saying, you can't do it, you can't do it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You know, when we're kids, we just hear over and over why we can't do things. And but like you said, I remember, for some reason, I just remember my grandmother reading me that book, and it just always stuck with me. That little engine, I can see it going up that mountain. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And then it made it, and just by thinking that it could. And so I believe as a kid, that was why I could able to do some things. But then I kept hearing as I was growing up, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm going to cry. I remember you reading this chapter while I was in Kuwait, you know, going through some things and then joined Zervita. And I just applied that knowledge. I remember this chapter specifically. Why can't I become an ambassador? Why can't I get out of the Department of Corrections? And why can't I do this? If I believe that I can, and you were telling me that I could, why not? And so I changed my thinking and started believing positive, and everything did change. But we got to get rid of not just saying that we can't do it. It's that thinking, that little inner voice, which is natural to believe the negative. When we're trying to lose weight, you can't lose weight. Why? You're too old. You're too fat. You're too dumb. We all have that. Once we get rid of that, I believe anything is possible. And thank you so much for reading this chapter. Any last words for us, Cindy?
Well, he talks in here about when someone is saying, I can't, because if you had to go probably ask 100 people what's their biggest fear, I think a lot of them would say speaking in public, public speaking. I had to take speech class 3 times in college because I dropped out every time that I had to give a speech. So the day before I'd be like, I can't do it. I'm just dropping the class. And so when it got to my last quarter, in order for me to graduate, I had to take that class. There was no getting around it. And so I didn't have a choice but to get up there and give a darn speech, and sweating like crazy, nervous as can be. I mean, it was just the biggest fear I had. And there was like maybe 30 people in the room. And then when I got into this industry of network marketing, they were like, well, you need to do the meeting. And I'm like, what? We were having a big hotel meeting, and they were like, you need to do the meeting. I'm like, I'm not doing that meeting. I can't do that meeting. I can't speak in front of people. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Cindy. You're going to do it because we don't have anybody else to do it, so get up there and do it. And I'm not lying, y'all. I was so nervous that the only place that my stomach did not just feel like I was going to throw up was in the bathtub. So for like a week before this meeting, I pretty much lived in the bathtub because I would just sit in there because that was where my stomach wasn't so upset. And then I would practice what I was going to say over and over and over again. And, I mean, I was just a wreck. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I probably told Kirby, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you can. And I got up there, and I did it, finally. And it was like I was just so unbelievably relieved when I got done because I thought, well, that wasn't that hard. Like, once I got up there and started, I was like, this isn't that bad, And so as a result of that, I got over that huge fear I had. And now it's like nothing, it's just not a fear of mine anymore, but it's because I just really pushed myself through it. And so that's what you got to do. He says the challenge today, starting today, be aware of the times when you say, I can't, or any other self-limiting statement. When you find yourself saying such negative things, immediately challenge yourself to do the very thing you said you couldn't do. As you begin doing the very things you said you could not do, your confidence will grow, and you will feel great about the person you are becoming. And he ends it with saying, if you believe you can, you can't. Or if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you can't. And that is so, so true. I can't even tell you how many times Kirby has said stuff like that to me. I'll say, no, I really can't do it. And he'll go, you're right, you can't. You can't do it. If you don't think you can do it, you can't do it. But it's your choice, Cindy. And, he's sometimes like my dad, like a father to me because he wants to correct me. He's trying to make me grow. We've been married. We've been together since I was 15. So he's been there my entire life. And so he's always, nope, you can't do it, Cindy. If you don't think you can do it, you absolutely 100% can't do it. And so he had to really change my thinking on so many different things to help me to understand that I could do something if I put my mind to it. And so anyway, I'll give it to you to close out, Tracy.
Well, that's great advice. I would just challenge everybody today, be aware when negative thoughts come in our head, and they do all the time, and just try to change that into a positive. I'm going to unmute everybody to say goodbye.
Oh, I think you muted them.
We'll
do it again.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Happy Monday.
Have a great day.
Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you both so much.
Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Cindy.